not gender specific about being attractive is that studies and science has shown that people who are taller, thinner, you know, more attractive, get paid more, have more opportunities in life and in various careers. I don't think it's limited to politics.
No, and they did speak today, it was on Good Morning America, they were talking about how thin women make more money than overweight women and almost underweight women. So thin is something that people, but you know, I just found it interesting that someone starts to compare women and he says, okay, she's the hottest.
Well, was he talking only about the physicality, or is she the most?
He was talking about the physicality.
He was talking about
Come on now.
I'm trying.
Yeah, we're trying to give him
I mean,
an
I
out.
know he spent a few days
But this is a hot
backpedaling
topic.
a little bit.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But so let's kind of talk about now this whole issue of how the media treats men versus women, especially those running for office.
politics.
What do you think, Kim?
I think the media are very hard on women. I think women have to come off well polished, very much up on every possible issue and be extremely well versed on everything for them to be considered credible. You can't just come out and be good looking. You have to have something to say behind it, and you can't just have something to say and be a mess to look at,
Well, I mean,
because
we
they
talk
will
about
tear
the
you.
pantsuits.
Yes.
I mean, look at Hillary Clinton.
That's right.
You know, very well versed on the issues, whether you liked her positions or not, but she certainly knew what she was talking about. But all we heard about was her
the
hair and her
pantsuit.
pantsuit.
Yes.
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 But she looked beautiful at Chelsea's wedding.
That was
She
mother
really-
of pride.
Well, but again, I raised this question: are we leaving as women some of our assets on the table, if you will, if we downplay that feminine?
I think it's a fine line. I think women are accused of being flirty, or they're throwing themselves. If you use your feminine wiles to persuade someone on an issue or whatever you're trying to do.
To bolster your credit, but to bolster the substance.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
not the
Right.
sizzle instead of the steak.
Right, and I think it can be a double-edged sword. I think there's a fine line.
It's not so much about this. We are women.
Right.
So if you're coming across and that feminine side of you is coming out there, why does it have to be sexual in nature?
Right.
It's
Absolutely.
people's perceptions of us
Right.
rather than, that means, I hate to bring up the subject of an obese woman. An obese woman, they would never even say that about, because a woman maybe they consider, oh, look how hot she is, or she's throwing herself out. How did you get to the top? You must have done something. I mean, comments like that we hear again and again and again.
In the 70s or even in the late 60s, like, what did we go to work? And we went to work in ties and suits,
That's
and
right.
we've moved beyond that from a gender-bending stereotype. But we haven't moved that far beyond that.
Right.
Okay, we no longer dress like men because we no longer have to, but there's still a price to be paid for being a woman.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Well, but are we